The facility had always been alive with the sound of training, a relentless rhythm of boots hitting concrete, commands shouted, and equipment clanging. Early in the morning, long before most of the candidates arrived, the janitor moved quietly through the gym. Harold Hal Thompson had been part of the facility for years, a fixture so ordinary that trainees rarely noticed him. He wore a faded uniform of gray coveralls, his hands carrying a mop and bucket, moving with slow precision as he cleaned the floors and wiped down benches. Most people assumed he was just another staff member. They didn't know that beneath his unassuming exterior lay decades of service and a past that few could imagine. Hal had served in operations that were classified, missions that had shaped the tactics of modern Navy SEAL teams. The stories of his exploits were whispered only in corridors long after he had left the field. He carried scars from past missions, both visible and hidden, but he said nothing. The only mark that hinted at his past was the tattoo at the base of his neck, partially obscured by his coveralls. It was faded from years of exposure, inked in a time when secrecy was paramount, but it remained a symbol of his service, a silent testament to the life he had lived. That morning, as Hal moved through the gym, the sound of trainers shouting commands mixed with the metallic thuds of weights being slammed to the floor. Candidates were struggling through obstacle courses, testing their limits under the eyes of instructors. Hal paid them no mind. He focused on his work, maintaining the space that had been used by some of the best trained soldiers in the world. He was meticulous, never rushing, never complaining. To him, this was the rhythm of life: clean the space, maintain order, observe silently. Commander Nathan Cole entered the gym that day, walking with a presence that demanded attention. His reputation preceded him. He was a SEAL commander who had led multiple operations in volatile regions, known for his sharp instincts and unwavering discipline. As he entered the room, conversation ceased, and trainees froze in place, instinctively acknowledging the authority in his stance. Cole's eyes scanned the gym floor with practiced precision, checking the readiness of both instructors and trainees. His attention landed briefly on the candidates performing drills, but then it shifted to the janitor moving across the room, mop in hand. There was a pause, a brief stillness in the chaotic hum of activity. Commander Cole's eyes narrowed as he observed Hal bending forward, the collar of his coveralls slipping slightly to reveal the faded tattoo at the base of his neck. Recognition struck immediately, though his expression remained controlled. He took 2 deliberate steps forward, making his way across the gym floor with an intensity that commanded silence. Instructors noticed his focus and instinctively straightened, curious about what had captured the commander's attention. Hal straightened slowly as he noticed the commander approaching. He maintained his calm demeanor, giving a brief nod of acknowledgement. "Morning, Commander," he said quietly, his voice measured, betraying no hint of the pride he might have felt in being noticed. Cole stopped a few feet away, his eyes locked on the tattoo. "Hal Thompson," the commander said, voice firm but with a subtle undercurrent of understanding. "I didn't expect to see you here." Hal gave a small shrug. "Just doing my part, same as always." The silence in the gym was palpable. Instructors and trainees alike sensed the weight of the moment. Cole's gaze studied the mark on Hal's neck, tracing the lines of a symbol that carried decades of history, missions, and sacrifices. It was a unit insignia, long retired, known to a handful of operators. It was a mark that commanded respect among those who understood its significance. Cole's posture shifted subtly. He raised his hand in a crisp salute. Every head in the gym followed suit, instructors and trainees snapping to attention in unison. Hal returned the salute slowly, the gesture deliberate, acknowledging recognition that he had never sought. "You don't need to do that," Hal said softly, the corners of his mouth lifting in a faint smile. Cole's voice remained steady. "Yes, I do. You earned it, and it's time others see it too." Hal allowed the commander to step closer, his eyes meeting Cole's with a quiet intensity. "Years of service, and you've kept quiet this whole time. Why?" Hal paused, considering his words carefully. It wasn't about recognition, it was about the mission, about the men beside me. That's enough. Cole nodded, understanding the weight behind those words. Let's take a walk. Hal followed, leaving the mop and bucket behind as they moved toward a quieter section of the facility. Inside the office, Cole gestured for Hal to sit. You know, these trainees walk past you every day and see nothing but a janitor. They have no idea of what you've done. Hal's hands rested in his lap. They'll learn eventually. Right now, they need focus. They need to see what's in front of them. Cole leaned forward, studying him. Sometimes they need to see the man, too, not just the space he maintains. Hal gave a faint nod. Cole recounted some of the missions that Hal had been part of, carefully avoiding classified details, but emphasizing the courage, strategy, and resilience required. Each story was met with quiet acknowledgement from Hal, who never boasted, never interrupted. It was a history of discipline, of leadership, of survival under fire. The trainees and instructors who would later hear of this recognition would do so with reverence, understanding that the janitor they had overlooked had been a legend in his own right. Later that afternoon, the trainees were assembled unexpectedly. Cole addressed them with authority and calm. "There's someone among us you've overlooked," he said, gesturing toward Hal. The gym went silent. Instructors and trainees alike turned to see the unassuming janitor, mop still in hand, standing quietly at attention. Cole spoke slowly, letting each word land. Petty Officer First Class Harold Thompson, Navy SEAL, Unit 8, decorated for valor in multiple operations. His service is not just history, it's a lesson in discipline, resilience, and humility. The effect on the trainees was immediate. They straightened in their formation, eyes fixed on Hal. Whispers ceased, replaced by focused attention. Hal stepped forward slightly, allowing the magnitude of the moment to settle over the room. He spoke once, voice calm but firm. "The uniform, the badges, the medals, none of them make a leader. It's action, responsibility, and courage that do. Remember that." Over the following weeks, Hal's presence shifted from overlooked staff member to respected mentor. Trainees asked for his advice on techniques, strategies, and endurance. Instructors consulted him for insights on drills, operations, and leadership. He continued his duties with the same quiet diligence, but now his experience was acknowledged and valued. Commander Cole observed this transformation with quiet satisfaction. Recognition had not changed Hal, it had simply aligned perception with truth. Evenings at the facility brought a different rhythm. Hal remained after the trainees had left, ensuring that the equipment was stored properly and the floors were clean. The tattoo at his neck caught the dim light of the hallway as he moved, a subtle reminder of the history and experience he carried silently. For those who knew the story, it was a mark of inspiration. For those who didn't, it was just ink. The lesson endured. True service, true leadership, and true courage do not demand acknowledgement, but when recognized, they command respect without question. One glance, one moment of understanding from a Navy SEAL commander had transformed perception and highlighted the weight of earned experience. Hal returned to his routine each day, unchanged in his dedication, but now carrying the quiet satisfaction of recognition earned and deserved. The floors remained clean, the benches wiped, and the gym prepared for the next generation of trainees. And above it all, the faded tattoo on the neck of a quiet old janitor continued to speak volumes, a symbol of resilience, courage, and the unassuming power of a life dedicated to service.